the message that's coming through is that they were training you. All of that hate, that envy, the gossip, the lying about you. I'm getting that people were talking about you as if they knew the whole story, but they didn't. They were just telling half truths and then filling in the blanks wherever they could with nonsense, utter nonsense. People who really know you would know the truth, but they weren't going to the people who really knew you. They were talking about you to people who didn't know you at all. And so that's kind of what bothered you the most. It's that there was this false perception of you that was out there. But I'm also getting this feeling of like it's almost like there was a switch that was flipped, where you realized, okay, you know what? Why am I hurt by what they were saying? This was preparation. This was training. They treated me like, oh, so it's kind of hard to get out. They treated me like a celebrity. So I'm going to show them. And the other thing that came through was that Brittany Spears song, Circus, All Eyes on Me, in the center of the ring, just like a circus. And that's what I feel like. I feel like someone who's standing there in the middle, and people are around them. They're observing this person who's in the center. Um, and it's like they had their own issues in life, but you were the perfect distraction. You were like you were there almost in their mind to, I wouldn't say alleviate their responsibilities, or just like gossip fodder. That's what it was. And I want to say that these people were close to you somehow, whether it's family or, close friends. Yeah, it's you were hurt by this for a long time. Okay, it was very difficult for you to get past. I feel almost like there was a block, like you weren't able to move past the hurt that you felt and the disappointment that you had in these people, because you felt like, ooh, excuse me, um, you were there for them whenever they needed you. And I see crumbs, like they gave you little crumbs, little bits and pieces, and those crumbs were kind of to justify how they behaved. Like in their minds, it was okay to act like that towards you, because like they picked you up once from the airport 10 years ago, but they never stopped talking about it. Or that you gave them a place to stay when and this is very specific, when you were leaving a relationship. And again, for 1 or 2 days, 10 years ago, something like that. Like this, it's something that they did for you a long time ago that they're kind of like dangling over your head. Like, well, I was there for you. Don't forget that. But so in their minds, they're justifying their behavior. Like, it's not a big deal. I mean, you owe me in a way. It's, I'm sorry, but I want to say it's insane. um, yeah, but so you've taken a new perspective on this. You're like, okay, you know what? There's something about me that bothers them. That's what I'm hearing. Like, there's something about me that bothers them. So I'm going to act like the main character. They made me the villain in their life. I'm going to act like the main character in my own life. They're so focused on me. They're still focused on me. I feel like that's how it's coming through. My goodness. Sorry, I wish that wasn't the case, but unfortunately, we learn a lot through interpersonal relationships, and it's how we burn some of that, whatever karmic lessons that there are that we have to work through. Ooh, yeah. But I feel like you're looking back on their behavior. So you might have already turned away from them. You might have distanced yourself if possible. That's what it feels like. Because again, like I said, you're looking back. Those people were really insecure. It might not, what's wrong? I keep getting stuck. um, but yeah, okay. So what I was gonna say, what did I say now? I hate when that happens. What I wanted to say was that they were insecure. No, I forgot what I was gonna say after that. Hey, you didn't win, okay? Whoever that is trying to block me, you did not win. I'll figure it out. um, yeah. Oh, yeah. See, I'll figure it out. It may not have been obvious because they were so good at covering it up. And they're also really good at using you as the distraction. So if they felt out of place, oh, you know what I'm getting? That is a shame. They are someone who was close to you and they felt like I said, they felt insecure about their own. I'm the most average person. Like that's what I hear. So they looked at you and they were envious of like your talents or your ability to just be yourself in different environments and communicate with anyone. I'm hearing she can talk to a tree. So you're the type of person who can have a conversation with anyone. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what setting you're placed in. Um, and this person did not have that skill, and they were envious of it. And they found it really is such a shame because I feel the closeness, like the bond, and they felt like the best way or the easiest way to create a bond with a new person or just to develop a friendship was, to make, what is that saying? The enemy of my enemy is my friend, to kind of turn them against you and then they could bond in that way because I'm seeing then magnets like, so that was the fastest way for them to make new friends almost. And they still consider themselves a friend to you. That's twisted. I'm sorry. Oh, that really is insane. That is insane. Thank God that flip switched with you. And now, you distance yourself from them. So I'm getting your perspective is more like, yeah, yeah. I hear sorry, I got stuck on that circus. Again, there's someone in the middle and people are all around and they're like just throwing barbs at this person, the person in the middle. I guess that's you. But it's like there's this transformation going on. So like where first they were throwing those barbs at you, now it's like kind of like with the Captain America shield. Those barbs are like getting reflected, and it's like you found your own power again. You're not sitting there and letting them, talk trash about you. Mm, 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 mm. I just see them watching you still. Even though you've kept that distance now, it's like there's a glass panel around them. So it doesn't matter what they try to do, they can't get to you, but they're still watching you. You might have people like stalking you on social media or just, that's just weird. All right, let's see. What do we want to know? Because I don't want to focus on that past. You turned away from them. If they're watching you, that's their own problem. They've got issues that they need to work through. Um, okay, first which deck? Let's use this deck. And let's ask what is in store for you, okay? Because I don't want to sit there stuck on that past energy because like I said, there's a switch that's been flipped. You're turning it back to it. You're not focused on it, so why would I focus on it now? Ooh, 3-3, sacred support. But I feel like throughout that time you had sacred support. Whatever was going on, I think I said karmic lessons, right? For whatever reason, it was something that you had to go through. They weren't happy watching you go through this. Like your guides and, the ascended masters, they weren't happy. But I think it helped you become the person that you are to prepare you for. Okay, I just heard celebrity status. Um, okay. I'm seeing different things though. So some of them is like I see someone like on the red carpet, but another one is like it's like at work where you're like the star. I was about to say star pupil, but I just said work, so I meant like star. What is that word? Why am I forgetting? Employee. Hello. Yeah. So whatever it is, you had to go through that so that you could really find yourself again. This has been coming through quite a bit, I guess. I feel like the past couple of messages have been, well, no, they've been about like accepting the rewards and letting the angels surprise you. This is different. This is a different energy. This is like working on yourself. It had to. Oh, I see some. It looks like, I don't know. I just see like the energy going this way. So it feels like instead of focusing on being there, okay. So this is what this is. Those people were not meant to be with you in this next phase. Those people. Do I still have it there? No. The We had the masters on the bottom before. They allowed them. I think your guides allowed them to do this, not because they enjoyed it, because they knew that you could take that and that you would be stepping into your own power. You had to see them for who they are. You had to be like, okay, these are not people that I want to carry with me, because that's exactly what you would end up doing, is carrying them. Because like I said, they had this expectation of you just because they helped you once in some way years ago. In their mind, you owe them the sun, the moon, the stars, your firstborn, your secondborn, your thirdborn. Like you owe them everything just for that one thing that they did for you. And then, no, come on. You don't owe anyone like that, especially if you're in a, because the situation that came through was that you were leaving a relationship and you needed a place to stay. That was one of the situations. And the other one was like getting picked up from the airport. So it's like you have something that's really small, trivial, and you have one that's a little more serious, but it doesn't matter where it goes, like where it falls on this spectrum. Um, you do a favor for a friend, you're doing a favor for a friend. It doesn't mean that they owe you their life. It's not like an eye for an eye in that way, right? Like, that's ridiculous to see friendship in that way. But you were still always there for them, because you also did kind of feel like, okay, they did help me. They can be a helpful person. This is the thing. You could see them for the best of who they could be. There's the sun on the bottom. But they did not always embody that best version. I mean, come on. How can you justify using your so-called friend as the target, really? Because this person is not good at making friends, or they're envious of whatever talents and skills that you have. So the only way they can make themselves feel better, or make create new friendships, develop new bonds, is by turning these new people against you to see you in a negative light. That's the only way they can make a new friend? Really? Like that? No, that's not the best of who they are. Come on. That's horrible. That really is horrible. But your guides knew that you could get through it. They knew that it was going to turn you into, I see a lion. They knew that it was going to turn you into this fierce version of yourself, and prepare you for the next phase. Because you're meant to be a leader in some way. This could be like career, locally, Or, I did say celebrity status before. That could be it, but just take it how it resonates. But that's horrible. Anyway, you're out of that. So what is coming in to your life now? What is this next phase about? This lion that you're embodying. What is that bringing them? I'll never understand people like that. Okay, this came flying. Third house, communication, the Lovers, and the Magician. Master your mind, communication, mind, thoughts, ideas, perception, writing, speaking, social media, sibling, neighbors, and short trips. Gemini. So public speaking can be something, but I'm getting like that's, I was going to say leader of industry, but then captain of industry was about to come out. You might have also ended up holding yourself back at work. This could be like people-pleasing tendencies. And so because of that, you weren't as forthcoming with your ideas, with your thoughts, with your skills as you could have been. It's possible that you were just so overwhelmed. Yeah, because if you were always trying to be there for people who were never there for you, then your cup was never filled. You're just burning the wick on both ends, basically. So you couldn't show up as your full, as the best version of yourself as you can now. And so now you're ready. Like we said, you're that lion or lioness. Now you're ready for your skills to be in the forefront. You're ready yourself to be in the spotlight, in the limelight. It's a choice that you had to make. That's what I'm getting with the Lovers, that it was more of a choice that you had to take. Oh, sorry, I have to take this. Sorry. So what was I saying? Let's look. The Lovers, the Magician. Oh, making a choice. But what I want to say now is like, I remember reading this because I've been looking a little more into astrology just to be able to, give messages a little more clearly. And I think this is right. I feel like saying it, so don't steer me wrong. But I think with third house or with Gemini, it's the nervous system is involved. So I feel like you kind of had to retrain. This says master your mind, and I'm getting retrain your brain and retrain how you respond to people because you've always been. I see someone looking at someone as they're speaking to them, and like the red flags are popping up. You could always tell when someone was lying to you, but it was like you would choose whether or not to address it. Um, I'm also getting like chaos. So I don't know if there was like in your home life, if there was, just a great deal of chaos on a consistent basis. It's almost like you never got a chance to feel peace. You never got a chance to really feel at home and calm. And with these people around you that were really just feeding off of you, they weren't adding to your life positively. They would just take from you. Like I feel like you were always kind of like teetering. I see someone walking like a tightrope, like one small move and boom, everything can collapse. So I think that's part of what you had to go through. You were pushed to this point so that you would learn to just call people out. Um, if they're trying to manipulate you, just letting them know, I see you. I know what's going on. I'm not blind because you're going to need to be in that kind of role, in that or just take that position more often in this new leadership role. I see someone at like the head of a table, but like a boardroom like that. That's what I feel like. You can't be there if you can't voice not just your opinions, but make I was gonna say make decisions, but then take decisive action also came through. So I feel like all of that was meant to put you in this new suit. I see someone putting on like a new bodysuit. That's yeah, like this is the new version of you, but it's who you always were on the inside. Like I said, you always knew, like you could always pick out the people that were lying and trying to be manipulative, and you weren't easily led astray. It's just sometimes you look the other way intentionally because you felt like, oh, they're family, or they're that friend that was there for me that one time 10 years ago. Um, yeah, you kind of you made excuses for them. And I think all of this, all that experience, feeling like all those eyes on you and feeling that hatred sent towards you, I think you also knew what they were doing when they were like trying to pit other people against you so that they could develop a better friendship. Like you knew, you could see. I see someone like, looking from their periphery, and like you're wise to what was going on. But again, you always saw the good in people who didn't show that good side very often. So it's like you knew it was there. It's like this little kernel of goodness in someone that you were always focused on, but you weren't looking at the rest of them. That was not so nice, not so kind. Yeah. So you really weren't taken advantage of. It's more like you were putting yourself in those positions kind of by choice, okay? And that's what you needed to learn. That's what your guides wanted you to stop. It's like I see cease and desist. Like they're sending you a letter like, girl, enough. And I keep getting her and girl, so I feel like this is more towards like the feminine energies out there. But yeah, your guides were like, come on, what are you waiting for? Stand up for yourself. Like let them know. Stop being so kind to people who don't deserve it. It doesn't make you a better person. It really doesn't. You're letting yourself, even if you're not being taken advantage of, you are letting other people think that they're pulling the wool over your eyes. And I was about to say that's not a compliment. That's not the version of yourself that you want people to remember. I'm saying that because it's like they're showing me one person and like 1,000 versions of themselves, right? I've talked about this before, where it's like there are hundreds, if not thousands, and hundreds of thousands of versions of you out there. And by that, I mean you were that person that once held the door open for someone who was, coming in from the rain. You were also that person who once was pressing the elevator door close button on someone else going up, to an interview, to a meeting, or whatever, wherever they were going. Like that's how there's someone out there that remembers what you did, even if it was something very trivial. We don't know what's going on in someone else's life and what's going to stand out to them, right? You're also that person who maybe once loaned someone a book that made all the difference in the world. And you could also be that person who refused to give, I see someone, a number two pencil at a test because it's like you wanted to teach them a lesson. And maybe there was someone that was always asking for things from you and you were just like fed up with it. Like you knew you had to bring two number two pencils and you decided not to. This is going to age me because that's the example. I know nowadays they don't take tests with number two pencils and scantrons, right? but but yeah, so like there are those versions of you that exist. So letting someone think they're pulling the wool over your eyes, even if you know, yeah, it's still kind of like, why do you want to let that version of you exist? There's no benefit to anyone. It's not, they're not thinking, oh, I know she knows that I'm lying, but, she sees the good in me. No, they're looking at you thinking, schmuck, right? Come on, be honest. Like that really is what they're if this is how they're behaving, if this is how they treated you can't honestly think that they're looking at you, seeing you as a good, kind person. They're seeing you as someone they can manipulate and take advantage of. Okay? So that's what your guides were kind of like, yeah, like putting their foot down, like enough is enough, girl. Get it together. Stop this. And so that's why it's like you had to be pushed to the brink. They did kind of let these people not I guess it is get away with, but they were like, okay, we're gonna give you a little leeway to push her so that she transforms because they know that you're capable of it. They know you. And of course, again, they can see like the full line of, the full timeline, I want to say, of your life. Okay. But yeah. Oh, thank God you got out of that. Come on. Yeah, I hope you thank your guides because really, who wants to be the pushover? Oh, just see, that's a whatchamacallit. Oh, I didn't hear my phone go off. Sorry, I'm expecting a call again. Um, no. All right. That's okay. Yeah. All right. So you had to learn that. You had to master your mind. You had to master yourself, really. But now you're more inclined to take decisive action. I was about to say decisive inaction. I don't know. Okay. Anyway. All right. Who is this next or this new version of themselves? What are they going to do? 3, 2, 1 on the clock. It's like a countdown. Something's coming in, or you're about to do something. Like it's. I just heard 3, 2, 1 blast off. Like time. It's time. Oh, the lotus, seed of awakening, awareness, spiritual path, liberation, ascension. Liberation and awareness is what's standing out to me here. So I feel like, yeah, this is a new liberated version of yourself. You are more empowered. Because again, you had to transmute, you had to turn into that lion, lioness, and embody that. Because that's who you need to be for this next phase of your life. So you're not going backwards. You're never going back to that person who only sees that itty bitty little tiny kernel of good and focuses on that and lets all that negativity kind of get away with what they were getting away with. You're not going to be that person ever again. So that's why you had to go through that, okay? Let's see what fell out. Those are 3 cards. They fell out upside down. Divine power, ancient, wise, gifted. Ooh, 2, 2, 2. Well, upside down, but 2, 2, 2. Resilient, strong and resilient is what is standing, and no bullshit. That's what's standing out to me. Okay, keep the faith, balance, harmony, trust. Standing strong, positive attitude, divine timing, high vision. Keep up the good work, abundant blessings. Well, now you're embodying the person who can handle not just responsibilities, but handle the rewards, I just heard to whom much is given, much is expected. So this new phase, like I said, you're going to be a leader in some way, shape, or form. It's going to be different for everyone, but you're going to be a leader. And so you have to be prepared for, and you have to be able to embody that energy. You'll be rewarded, of course, but it's like this is also about fulfilling that purpose and like really being able to handle what it is that is going to be expected of you in this new phase. I feel like you're gonna know if this is for you. Like either you've had like these dreams. I just heard "If I Rule the World," that Nas and Lauryn Hill song, right? That's what I just heard. If I rule the world. Wow. It's not like in a negative way, like you want I'm gonna rule the world, not like that. But like you want to have a positive impact. And I feel like you've always known you were meant for more. So that's what this is. You had to transform, you had to become the real you, not just like that stomped down version of you. You have to get out of that. Okay, but yeah, high vision and divine timing. So now is the time for that. Divine power, I told you, is on the bottom. Here, let me show you. Ancient, wise, gifted, but strong and resilient, and natural born leader was what was popping out at me. Okay, I think we saw the sun on the bottom, and this always reminds me of the sun. I feel like taking that, so I'm going to put that. This was a breakthrough for you. You had to. You had to go through that. Difficulty, stuck, savior. You might have had that savior complex. Like you were always the one to be depended on for everyone, for everything. And you weren't focusing on yourself. You kind of let yourself get lost. I feel like that was familiar to you. You knew that role, you knew what was expected of you. And there's maybe a piece of you that was a little intimidated. I told you, you always knew that you were supposed to do something big, be of impact, right? So a little piece of you knew that. And so I think you were a little scared of embodying that fierceness. Um, so you kind of use that as a crutch. The people pleasing and like the savior complex. You used it as a crutch because it was familiar and it wasn't it wasn't scary. I see like a wolf like cowering, but why are you cowering? What? Did I say cowering? Why are you cowering when you know how strong and how like that wolf's howl, how far it I just see like vibrations through the air, how far it carries and yeah. Yeah, that's what your guides they were guiding you through that. Like I told you, they're like, girl, stand up, get up, and get moving because you have stuff to do. You have things to do. Don't stay curled up in the fetal position, scared of the world. Don't do that. You know who you are. Whatever it was they were saying about you impacted you, and like I said, you were hurt by it before, and you were yeah, you were like devastated by the things that they said and that they did, but you know that moment that switch flipped off and you're like, hold on, fine, you want to talk, you know what, about me, okay, I'll give you something to talk about. And you owned it all. Then you were just like, this is more like training. You want me to be a celebrity in your life, you want to gossip about me, you want to make up. I see, like, you know, the Inquirer and all those fake not newspapers, what do you call them, like, gosh, what do we call those things? I want to say rag, but like new, no, what is the term that we use for that? That's going to bother me. I don't know, but you know where I'm going with that, right? All those gossip columns. But yeah, that's it. You were a celebrity in their own life. And now you feel like that. That was the breakthrough that you needed to go through. Strength and the sun. See, and now that you're there, your life is going to change so dramatically. I see 180, completely different. Like down here, whoop, right up there. Mm-mm. You're not the same person. So the same space doesn't fit you. The same people don't fit you. They just don't. I see like paths kind of going, not even parallel. It's like slowly they, what's that word that I want to use? Oh my God, what's happening? Why am I forgetting my words? Not divert, that's not the right word. It's like they start off together and then they split. I don't know. Let me know. I can't think of the word. But anyway, and this is romance, fun, joy, creativity, hobbies, self expression, good fortune, and fertility. With fertility, I'm getting like ideas. So you're going to have a full life. Like I said, you're going to have a life. I see 9 to 5 impact, and then 5 to 9 fun. That's I just saw like a schedule. Someone's schedule is like that. So you're going to have your work during the day that is impactful, that's purposeful, that is driven by a mission. And then you're also going to have time to have fun with a new group that really I hear sings to your soul. Like you guys just, you really mesh well together, okay? So you're gonna have like a balance. Oh, we saw balanced somewhere. Where did I see that? Balance and harmony. You're gonna have a balanced life. You didn't have that before. Ooh, we have 5D on the bottom. And look at that. This is what you were going through. Hold on. You had 5D, right? But look at that. Transforming pain into growth. That's what you were doing. That's why you had to go through it. Key to helping others. Insights. Healing power. You had to, I was about to say break into that, but what I wanted to say was break free. So you had to, it was a real struggle to get to this point, to embody who you are now. But you had to go through it, unfortunately. You had to deal with the people that you dealt with in the past. But yeah, you're out. So you have wonderful things coming to you, okay? And it'll come. I know you're probably thinking, all of your messages, you say that at some point. But it's the truth, okay? If you embody that energy, everything is frequency and energy. So if you are telling the universe, you're showing them that what you're going to tolerate and what you're not going to tolerate anymore, what you're not going to tolerate is going to fade. And what you are willing to accept into your life is going to come to you in abundance because you're showing them you're ready for it. So now they're going to show you. Why would they give you? Like I'm seeing someone giving a person $1 million. I can blow through it in a second versus giving $1 million. Something keeps trying to trip me up. This has been happening for a couple of days. Versus giving someone $1 million who kind of saves a little bit, invests a big chunk of it, puts the others, put the other amount into, like I see different folders. So I think that means like diversifying portfolios, things like that, like being smart with your money. Who would you give it to then if you had that choice, right? So the universe is kind of also like, okay, well, they don't appreciate it. They don't really care. They just want to live frivolously. So live frivolously, knock yourself out. The universe isn't going to be mad at you, but that person who's being, who's treating the money with respect and is really not just being purposeful with how they spend it, but like you're showing the universe that you love, you appreciate what was given to you. So you're making wise decisions, wise choices. And you are, of course, you're going to have fun, you're going to spend, you're going to enjoy yourself, but then you're also investing. And so you're going to get that money back. It's going to continue to flow to you. And then you're just going to keep getting blessed with more because you're showing, again, that you're ready for it. All right. So whether it's opportunities, people, the right connections, actual money, now you're ready for it. Now you can handle it. Now you're more willing to accept it because I see someone standing tall with like, shoulders back. What was that? That power pose? Like that. All right. Okay. So don't look back. Do not go back. You don't want to. I just feel like holding this one up. I don't know. This is what you're embodying. This, and I want to hold the dragon. Okay. You needed that breakthrough to end up here, to realize that there's so much more to life and you don't need to limit yourself based on what other people expect of you and what they want to tell you you deserve just because they did you that favor that one time. Okay. All right. Ooh, look at that. 333 on the clock. We get 222, 333. I just saw 2148, so I don't know if that's something specific for you, but it caught my eye. Okay. All right. Hi. Oh, you woke up from your nap, huh? Yeah. Just like you woke up from your slumber to realize who you really are. All right. So I think that is it. Let me know if this resonates. And yeah, whenever you see this, I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful night. I will see you in the next video. Bye.